Now let's go over DOM-Based XSS, right? So cross-site scripting. Now DOM or DOM stands for Document Object Model, and it's a cross-platform and language-independent application programming interface that treats an HTML or XHTML or XML document as a tree structure. So DOM-based cross-site scripting is just another type of reflected cross-site scripting vulnerability. And the typical reflected cross-site scripting vulnerability are actually triggered by sending a link with inputs that are reflected to a web browser. In the case of a DOM-based cross-site scripting, the payload is actually never sent to the server. Instead, the payload is actually only processed by the client, by the browser. Now, in DOM-based or document object model-based cross-site scripting attacks, the attacker sends a malicious URL to the victim, and then the victim, goes to that site or clicks on that link and may actually download a malicious, piece of code, so malware, or a site that actually has a vulnerable DOM route handler. So after the vulnerable site is actually rendered in the browser, the payload executes the attack in the user context of that site. One of the side effects of these type of attacks is that the victim typically doesn't realize that the attack took place, right? Now, DOM-based applications use global variables to manage client-side information. So often developers actually create unsecure applications that actually put sensitive information in the DOM. And this sensitive information can include elements like tokens and public profile URLs, private URLs for information access, things like cross-domain OAuth values, and even user credentials as variables, right? So there's a bunch of malpractices out there. So as a best practice, not a malpractice, is that you also do not store any sensitive information in the DOM whenever actually you're building web applications.